This is my presentation about the director Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg was born on December 18, 1946 in Cincinnati, Ohio. His mother Leah Adler and Arnold Spielberg, who were a Jewish family. Throughout his early teens, Spielberg made amateur 8mm adventure action films with his friends, charged 25 cents admission tickets for his home films while his sister sold popcorn. In 1958, he became a Boy Scout and fulfilled a requirement for the photography merit badge by making a 9-minute 8mm film entitled The Last Gunfight. In 1963, at age 16, Spielberg wrote and directed his first independent film, a 140-minute science fiction adventure called Firelight, which would later inspire Close Encounters. The film had a budget of $500 and was shown at his local cinema, which generated a profit of $1, which is kind of sad. His first professional TV job came when he was hired to do one of the segments for the 1969 pilot episode of Night Gallery. Spielberg studied at California State University at Long Beach. However, his big break would come in 1975 when Steven Spielberg was given the chance to direct the highly successful blockbuster Jaws, which was about a killer shark terrorizing a local island town and follows the efforts of the people to kill the beast. It grossed $470,653,000 for Universal. 1981, Steven Spielberg establishes his own studio called Amblin Entertainment. This is his filmography. It's not all his films, but this is just some of the popular ones that I was able to gather. We got Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, The Lost World Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, Minority Report, War of the Worlds, Munich, Indiana Jones and the Kid with the Crystal Skull, Warhorse, The Adventures of Tintin, and Ready Player One. He's made many more movies. Steven Spielberg is one of the most talented modern directors in film history. His first big-budget film, Jaws, was an instant success and marked the debut of the blockbuster film. Jaws was the highest-grossing film until George Lucas's Star Wars would surpass it 2 years later. Spielberg is known for having a good eye for visual storytelling with use of camera angles, cinematography, sound design, and casting. He is one of the most well-known directors in Hollywood because he is able to combine all techniques to tell a good story time and time again with his films. Steven Spielberg's greatest feat in directing, to me, is when the year 1993 came around. This would mark the release of two of Spielberg's greatest masterpieces, which were Schindler's List and Jurassic Park. It's no easy feat to complete two films in 1 year, but it's even harder to craft more than one masterpiece in a year. Spielberg pulled it off as he put his A-game in ensuring both films were made to a quality standard, winning him an Oscar in Best Director for Schindler's List. He managed to craft both films with good actors, superb scores, good photography, good filming and camera angles, and much, much more. Part 1 of why Spielberg is an important part of cinema history. Steven Spielberg introduced the modern blockbuster, which helped to innovate the standard on which big budget films are made. Spielberg is able to craft his film works in an often seamless approach through camera angles and movement, lighting, good acting, music, and editing. He has been able to pull off big productions on relatively small budgets, as proven with Raiders of the Lost Ark, and turn them into successful classics. Spielberg knows how to tell a story in a way that he wants and knows the best ways to tell them in the industry. Spielberg is able to address important themes attributed to the context of his films, whether it be the horrors of the Holocaust in Schindler's List, or the importance of not playing God addressed in his Jurassic Park movies. He is consistent to the point with his storytelling and a gifted filmmaker and storyteller. Part 2 of why Spielberg is an important part of cinema history. Spielberg remembers history and reminds us of it. He does this through visual storytelling and cinematography. He also uses film techniques to make the audience feel emotions at precise moments. He is inspired from other filmmakers' work and is able to successfully tribute their work by featuring similar moments attributing their work. Spielberg has shown how to creatively move a camera and splice it with sound and music, as shown in such films as Saving Private Ryan and War Horse. He is also able to use actors to their full advantage in his films, having them express full emotion with his facial shots and movement. He is good at providing the audience a sense of geography with his movement of the camera and cinematography. Why Steven Spielberg is important today. Steven Spielberg still makes successful and compelling stories to this day, with War Horse being a highlight of mine. He is important because he is able to still make his movies using his gifted filmmaking techniques and is able to get with the times. Spielberg is a flexible storyteller, often working in many various subgenres as sci-fi, adventure, thriller, historical epics, etc. This means that any idea he has for a movie is potentially a great one. His style of film is unique to him and is still a joy to watch on screen. He is able to maintain large productions as a blockbuster director, as proven with his latest effort, Ready Player One. How I can incorporate techniques and strategies used by this director into my filmmaking. I will take inspiration from Spielberg by use of cinematography and storytelling. His movement is dynamic like a dance and are carefully constructed to tell a story. So I take inspiration from his camera techniques and would use that in my filmmaking career. At least I take inspiration from it. I'd also take inspiration from his storytelling. It's something I would incorporate as a part of my filmmaking. There is a point to every scene he shoots and is shot in such a way to make sense. And this is my bibliography. So thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it.